my goodness, friends, look at these new liquid highlighters from Dior. These are the Dior Forever Glow Maximizers, and I'm going to be reviewing, swatching, and demoing these for you guys today because you guys already know I am a huge fan of the Dior Forever powder highlighters. I have these in every single shade. So when Dior comes out with a liquid version, you know I gotta test it. And let's just talk about the elephant in the room, friends. Dior's a little bit late to the game on the liquid highlighters, so not only will I be reviewing them for you guys today, but I will also be comparing them against two of our other favorites, the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wands and the Rare Beauty Liquid Luminizers. So if you guys want to hang out with me today and see which one is best, then keep watching. All right, friends, let's dive in, shall we? For the first part of this video, I'm going to be talking exclusively about the new highlighters from Dior. We're going to do swatches, application, wear tests, all that good stuff. And then in the second part of this video, I will do the comparisons with the Rare Beauty and the Charlotte Tilbury. Timestamps will be down below, but let's kick things off with some daylight close-ups of this absolutely beautiful packaging. You get this gorgeous, luxurious, heavy, weighty glass component, and then you also get the shiny cap with the Christian Dior logo. The applicator for these is a chunky doe foot, so it's kind of similar to what you get from the Rare Beauty. Makes it really easy to kind of spread it on the back of your hand, or if you just want to go in directly with the doe foot onto your cheek, you can definitely do that. I was not surprised, but excited to see these from Dior because they really don't have that many liquid and cream products on their website. Like, I don't think they have any cream blushes, cream bronzer. They really excel in the powder products. And as I mentioned earlier, guys, I'm a huge fan of the Dior Forever powder highlighters. I have these in every single shade. So I'll also show you guys some comparable powder products in case maybe you already have some of these colors in your collection. I am going to be linking, guys, where you can purchase these in the description box down below. These come in a couple of different shades, and I'm going to be reviewing 3 of them for you guys. So down in the description box will be the price everywhere you can purchase these. I do use affiliate links, so when you shop through my links, I earn a small commission that supports my channel. So thank you so much if you do choose to shop through those. But before we get into the demo, I do want to show you some swatches of the shades that I picked up. So right here in order, guys, I have number 1, pink. This is a light pearly iridescent pink. It's very fresh, kind of has those ballerina vibes. The second one here is called Rosy. This is a warm rose with a slight rose gold shift, not a super strong shift, but it has a really beautiful rose gold iridescence to it. And then finally, friends, we have the shade bronze. This is a warm bronze with a slight iridescent golden shift. And the last thing that I want to say before we get into the demo, guys, is that these are fragrance. They do have that classic Dior fragrance that we get for most of their makeup and their skincare. So if that bothers you, they might not be for you. For me, I smell it while I'm using the product, but then after a couple of minutes, once I'm done my makeup, it just kind of dissipates and I don't really think about it anymore. So it doesn't bother me, but a lot of you guys asked, so I want you to know it does have fragrance. By the way, if you are new here, hi, welcome. My name is Sophia and I love luxury beauty. I upload new videos just like this one every single week. I do a lot of fun and helpful guides to help you guys shop for luxury beauty, and of course, lots of new makeup reviews. So if you love luxury beauty, hit that subscribe button to join our fam. We would love to have you. And with that, friends, let's get on to the rest of this review. All right, friends, let's get these highlighters on my face. I'm going to do a cheek demo, and I'm also going to be testing these on my eyes as well so we can see, are they actually multi-purpose? I'm going to start off with the pink shade. This is the lightest one of the 3. This is more of a highlighter for me, and I wouldn't really use this as a blush. I would probably use this more so as a blush topper or a highlighter, just depending on your skin tone. I recommend for these, while you can take the doe foot applicator and apply them right to the cheek, I have found that I mostly like to apply it to the back of my hand first, then go in with a brush. I'm going to be using the BK Beauty 109, which is a smaller brush. I usually use this for concealer, but I also really like it for cream and liquid highlighter as well. I'm just going to dip into that. I'll show you guys what this looks like. It has a really beautiful, fresh, ballerina pink type of glow with a slight pearlescent. And by applying it to the back of my hand, I feel like I can just get a really nice coating on the brush so that when I then go in onto the cheek, it doesn't get patchy. And I will link all the brushes in the description box down below so you guys don't have to write it down or anything like that. Actually, I have a coupon code to BK Beauty, so I'll put the coupon code down there as well. All right, so here is the pink shade. I'll just turn towards the light. I think you guys can see that little bit of glow that it gave me. I think this one works very well as a highlighter for me on my skin tone. I think if you are a little bit on the tanner side, you might have a bit of a cast because it does have that pearly pearlescence. But if you like that, if you don't mind something that's a little bit bolder on your skin tone, then I think you are really going to enjoy it. Also, notice how this has kind of like a really nice moisturized look to it. It doesn't totally dry down. It's not serumy or gooey or, you know, transferring onto your clothes or anything like that. It's not super emollient and oily. It just gives a really nice kind of fresh look, almost like skincare would after it's sunken into your skin. I have fresh cheeks, and now we're going to be going into the Rosy shade. Now, this isn't so much a highlighter for me as it is a glowy blush. If you have a deeper skin tone, this might be more so of a highlighter for you. And this one I highly recommend applying on the back of your hand, because we're just going to be applying more in general. At least that's how I like to apply it. And I'm going to be using the BK Beauty 101 brush. This is just the larger version of the one that I just used. This is the travel size version, by the way. There's a regular size version. And then I just use it like blush. I just basically put it all over the cheekbone. You can see it gives you a really pretty natural flush. Actually, I think I want to put a little bit more on. See, it's very blendable, and I feel like now that I have more of it on my cheek, you can tell a little bit more that nice moisturized but not greasy texture. So this right here, my friends, is the Rosy Glow. I feel like this is kind of how I would wear it, just a nice even flush across the cheeks. And you could also layer this on top of a blush, maybe like a Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk or something like that, an RMS Maiden's blush, something neutral, something rosy. You could pop this on top if you want to sort of take it up a notch. And I'll just get in even closer here so you can get a sense of the finish. Notice how there's no glitter, but it does have a really pretty iridescence to it, just like the last one did, except it is more so in that rosy tone. And lastly, guys, we have the bronze shade. I think that this one might be my favorite because if you're new here, I like that bronzy look, and this one really has a beautiful tone to it. I like something that could almost work as both a bronzer and a blush, and I apply this one just like I do the blush, but sometimes I will take this up onto the forehead. Don't let this shade scare you. See how you can kind of sheer it out or build it up depending on the opacity that you want. It's really pretty. I've been wearing this a bunch this week with just like a nice neutral eye. I think that this is a nice formula that's very easy to work with. So if you are new to cream products, or maybe, you know, you're just a little bit nervous about cream products and them being kind of sticky or difficult to apply, I don't think you're gonna have any issues with these particular highlighters. I think that they're really easy to use, and you can see how easy they go on. And see right there, I kind of applied a little bit too much. I'm just gonna buff it out a little bit, hopefully not into my hair. And that's gonna give me a really pretty shimmer across the cheekbones, across the temples. And actually, guys, this is the one I'm going to apply to my eyes. I don't know why I felt like this would be the one that you could see the best because it's the darkest. And I'm gonna do a wear test, which I'll insert for you guys in just a second after we get the full look together. All right, and now let's apply it to the eyes. I want to show you real quick though, guys. See how it's dried down here? It's not completely transfer proof. You know, if I rub it like this, it's going to come off on my finger, but for the most part, it's dried down to a really nice moisturizing finish. So I'm going to be going in with the Sonia G Fusion Worker brush. These are really good for cream and liquid products. I'm just going to go right off of the doe foot, just kind of do a nice wash of color across the eyes. I'm not creating anything, you know, crazy with these. This could be a really nice, you know, vacation look when you don't want to spend too much time on your makeup, or maybe just kind of like getting ready for work in the morning. I think you guys can see there. Feels really nice on the eye. Feels very moisturizing. I know I keep using that word, but these really do feel that way. So I'm going to apply some mascara, and then I will come back and show you the final look. All right, friends, this is the final look with 2 coats of brown mascara, and I actually just layered on a little bit more of the rosy color as well, because I thought, I don't know, I might show you guys how you can layer these on top of each other. So this just kind of kicked it up a notch. I have a nice wash of the bronzer, then a little bit of the rosy tone on the apples of the cheeks, and then I thought it might be fun to go in with the pink shade just up here. So now you guys can see the full effect of, if you were to wear all three of these, if you happen to get multiple colors, how you can use them for different things. It just adds a little bit more dimension to the face so that the cheekbone can really pop out. I absolutely love that. And I also want to point out, guys, that on the eyes, this is more of a sheer wash of color, kind of like the Dior eyeshadows, a little bit less pigmented, a little bit less metallic or sparkly. There's really not a lot of sparkle from these at all. It's not going to be like the RMS eye lights. It's not going to be like the Lisa Eldridge liquid lyrics, all of those types of, you know, liquid eyeshadows that a lot of us like. It's going to be a lot more sheer, which I definitely don't hate. And it also looks a lot less dry on the eyes, because a lot of those, because they're very long wearing, they do dry down quite a bit. So this is what it looks like upon application. I've tested these on my cheeks so many times, guys, but I am going to be doing a wear test with these today. So that's what we're going to get into next. I'm going to show you a clip of how these wore by the end of the day. Let's get into that. What's up, friends? I'm just popping in here to show you guys the results of my 8-hour wear test of having these products on my cheeks and also on the eyelids. The sun is about to go down, so I really want to film this before there's no more natural light left. So on my cheekbone right here, you can see I still have a really beautiful natural gleam. The color is still there. It's faded a little bit, but there's no patchiness. It hasn't dried out. It doesn't look, you know, oily. Nothing is slipping and sliding. It very much looks like a similar finish to when I first applied it, and that's something that I really like about these. They are pretty long wearing for a liquid and cream product. They're not going to last as long as a Dior powder blush, but for the liquid and cream formula, I think it's pretty good. Now on the eyelids, I do like the fact that they look very moisturized. Like there's no dryness, there's no texture there, but because it is a moisturizing formula, hopefully you guys can see, it's very slight. It's very slight. They do crease just a little bit. If you have very oily eyelids, I would probably stay away from these because they do have that more moisturizing formula. But if not, I think you're really gonna like these on the eye because they look so incredibly smooth. It is a sheer wash of color, so if it does crease, it doesn't really show up all that much, if that makes sense. It looks natural, looks like a really pretty natural color on my eyes. So comment down below, let me know what you guys think. Do you feel like this lasted pretty well? I think it's looking pretty good, and I'm going to keep it on my face for another couple of hours, which is great. And I will say, guys, even after another couple of hours, it is going to look like this based off my previous tests. So I hope that this was helpful. Let's get back to the rest of this review. I hope all of this has been helpful and enjoyable so far, friends. We've made it to the point in this video where I'm going to try and dupe these new highlighters that I got from Dior with some of my favorites from Rare Beauty and Charlotte Tilbury. And listen, guys, I know there's other liquid highlighters on the market, but these are my favorites. These are the ones that I'm the most familiar with, and I tried my best to dupe the shades, at least for the ones that I picked up from Dior, starting off with the pink shade. Taking a look at the swatches right here at the top, I have the Dior in the shade pink. Then I have the Rare Beauty in the shade Enchant. Very, very similar in tone, although a little bit more shimmery. Then we have the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand in the shade Pillow Talk. I know that this one is not totally exact, but technically it is the closest one that I could find. They don't have a bright icy type of pink in their beauty light wands, which I thought was interesting. And then finally, friends, I also included a swatch of the powder Dior Forever highlighters, and this one is going to be in the shade Pink Glow. This is the closest to what they have in the liquid formula. Next up, I have comparisons with the shade Rosy. So at the top here, you have the swatch of the Rosy shade, followed by the Rare Beauty liquid highlighter in the shade Captivate. This was the closest I could find, guys. It is, I know, a little bit warmer. It's more terracotta, but that is the closest one I could find for Rare Beauty. There really isn't an exact dupe. But however, there is a dupe from Charlotte Tilbury. This is pretty much the exact shade as the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand in the shade Pinkgasm, which is one of the most popular shades. So it's pretty much exact. If you already have Pinkgasm, guys, I don't think you need to pick up the Rosy shade. And then finally, from the powder formula from the Dior highlighters, the closest one that I could find is the Coral Glow. It has kind of like that rosy coral nature to it, and also the gold shift. Might not be totally exact, but I like to use the Coral Glow pretty much in the exact same way as kind of like a glowy blush or a blush topper. And then finally, friends, we have the bronze shade from Dior, and this was a shade that I was able to dupe the best amongst all 4 of the formulas that I'm comparing for you guys today. So right here in the swatches, we have the shade Bronze, then we have the Rare Beauty in the shade Reflect, then we have the Charlotte Tilbury in the shade Pillow Talk 2 or Pillow Talk Medium, and then finally, friends, I wasn't able to find a dupe in the Dior Forever highlighters, but I was able to find something close in the Dior Backstage highlighter palette. This is the 001 non-universal. In this palette, we do have this bronze shade. So the bronze shade is pretty similar. I would say this one is a little bit like more extreme, a little bit more impactful. It's gonna have a lot more pigmentation, especially also when you put it on your eyes. But if you have something like this, maybe you can play around with this and pick up a different shade from the Dior lineup. So those were the swatch comparisons, friends. Those were the colors that I was able to match up the best. But what about the texture? What about the formula? I want to describe the differences amongst each of these because I don't necessarily think that one is better than the other, but I do think that each of these is probably for a slightly different customer, just depending on your preferences. Now, the Dior ones, these are going to be the most subtle, the most natural. They're going to have, like I said earlier in this video, more of like that iridescent sheen. I also feel like these have the most moisturizing look to the skin. So if you have dry skin, if you want something more subtle, if you are that classic Dior customer that likes kind of more natural, subtle makeup, maybe more of like a wash of color, I think you're going to enjoy these. They're not pigmented, but they are the most natural of the three. Also, I think if you have mature skin, this is probably going to be the way to go because both the texture, the formulation, and the finish of these are going to be the best for not highlighting any texture and really making your cheeks look a little bit more supple and plump. Now for the Rare Beauty formula, I have noticed that they are a little bit thinner in texture and they are also less moisturizing. They're not super dry on the cheeks, but I do notice that these set down a little bit more. So if you have oily skin or if you just, I don't know, like something that's a little bit more transfer proof, I think this is probably going to be the way to go. These are also more affordable than the Dior. Let's just call that out as well. So if you're looking for a more affordable dupe, I think you can probably get most of what you get from the Dior from the Rare Beauty. However, I do think that these are my least favorite, and that is because number one, I already explained, they don't really give that nice luxurious moisturizing feel, but also the finish of these is more glittery. The shimmer particles that are in the Rare Beauty ones, they're just a little bit more apparent, and I think for me, I like something that is more of a gleam as opposed to a glitter finish. But hey, they're still really beautiful. I still like the way that they look on my cheeks. It's just out of the three, these would happen to be my least favorite. And finally, friends, we have the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wands. These are going to be the most pigmented and high impact without being shimmery. You guys will see from the swatch comparisons, these have the most metallic finish to them. Obviously, you would sheer it out on the cheeks so it wouldn't look like a streak across your cheekbone, but they're going to be the most pigmented. So if you want more impact out of your highlighter, these are going to be the way to go. These also have a really nice moisturizing feel, just like the Dior ones. I would say in general, these are still my favorite because I like a little bit more impact. I like the fact that I can sheer it out, but also build it up. They're still pretty expensive. They are a luxury beauty product. I like the Dior. I like it for more of like that subtle, natural beauty, you know, kind of like that clean girl style type of look. But if I had to choose between the three, the Charlotte Tilbury would be my favorite. Lastly, for the comparisons, friends, before I get into my final thoughts, I do want to show you a quick side-by-side of what these products all look like on my cheeks, starting off with the Dior versus the Rare Beauty. You guys will see they look pretty similar once they get onto the cheeks. The Rare Beauty is going to have, like I said, a more shimmery finish. I also feel like it doesn't look as plump, as hydrated on the skin, but it still looks very, very beautiful. I also did a wear test with both of these products, guys. So here's what it looks like at the end of the day. I thought that they both wore very, very well on my cheeks. I think they're both very long wearing. I could still see the color. Does it fade a little bit? Yes, it does fade by the end of the day. It is going to be a liquid product, but I feel like they both are really good quality, have good long wear, and also because both of these have that doe foot applicator, the application experience is going to be pretty similar as well. And then also, friends, I have the side-by-side comparison with the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand. Hopefully you guys can tell from these daylight shots that the Charlotte Tilbury is just a little bit more illuminating. It has just a little bit more pigment and impact. I think that the component for the Charlotte Tilbury is really not my favorite. It's the thing that I hate about it the most. Actually, let me show you a different shade right here that is a little bit messier. Where are you? Here we go. This is the Pinkgasm one, and you can already see it's starting to get super gross and messy, even right around here where you twist it up. So I pretty much always get product all over my hands. This is the biggest thing that I hate about the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wands is the component. So the application experience for the Dior is a lot nicer. The packaging is also way more luxe because you're getting that really beautiful glass component. It's very similar to the concealers that they have in their line. So yeah, Charlotte Tilbury, I don't really like the component. It is just as moisturizing and also just as long wearing. Here is the side-by-side at the end of the day. Pretty much all three of these formulas are long wearing, so I don't think you guys have to worry about that. It really comes down to the finish that you are looking for, and then obviously your budget. All right, friends, before we go, I do want to share just my final thoughts on these new highlighters from Dior. Do I think they are groundbreaking? Do I think that they are an absolute must-have? No, I don't. I think we've seen similar products just like the ones that I compared for you in this video. But that being said, I do think that these are really beautiful. I do really appreciate the subtle glow that they give me. And they're a cream product that gives me everything that I like about a cream and liquid product, the moisturization, the texture, the natural look, but it also still lasts very long and it doesn't transfer or slip and slide all over my cheeks. I think it's a really beautiful product. The packaging is really luxe. I really don't have anything bad to say about them other than the fact that they are kind of similar to other things that we might already have in our makeup drawer. I think that these are a really good option for those of you out there that kind of wanted to do the Charlotte Tilbury or the Rare Beauty, but you just thought it was like too glittery, too shimmery, too much pigmentation, too much to work with, maybe too much mess as well. And you want something that's going to be a little bit more subtle, maybe appropriate for your skin type. I think that these are a really nice luxury option from Dior. As I told you guys, I still think my favorite is the Charlotte Tilbury, but I still like these so much. I do not regret buying them. I think they are a fantastic product. But enough about what I think. I want to hear what you all think. Sound off in the comments section down below. Let me know what you think about these new highlighters from Dior. Do you feel like Dior is a little bit late to the game on the liquid highlighters, or are you really excited for these? Which out of the three do you think you would prefer? I would also like to know that. So leave me some comments down below, guys. And if you like this review, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And with that, friends, I hope that you see some beauty in your day, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.